Money in the city of Lagos, South. Let's begin with the front pages of the dailies, starting with Vanguard. Vanguard's major headline says IPAC blast attack demands a swift prosecution. Internal ADC crisis taking too far. That's coming from Okwe. APC threatens to drag APC to ECOWAS court. PDP, NAC, obedient movement, Apoti Udwaha, others condemn incident. You can see that story on page 7 of Vanguard newspaper. On page 8, anti-Rivers, Kano, APC declares. Lastly, on Vanguard newspaper, we has back United Nations vote voicing support for Ukraine. That's all on Vanguard. We move to the Punch. The Punch major headline says Disu declares total war on police corruption impunity. Tinubu decorates act on police corruption impunity. Tinubu decorates acting IG. Team IG demands new MPF. Disu pledges. Time's up for lawless, dirty officer, says new IG. You can see that story on page 2. And there are 3 photo stories here backing the major story. The writer says the wife of the acting Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode expectable in Abuja on Wednesday. Now on page 20, 2027, Kwankwaso Makinde old closed door meeting. Lautech Mons as crashed as a sad one. You can see that on pages 4 and 5 and on page time to federal government on wage arrears. Top banner on page 2. Tinubu's executive order blocks 2 trillion naira NNPC fees. Lastly, on the Punch news, 13 banks raised to meet 31 March deadline. You can see that on page 28. Now we move to the Guardian. INEC reviews timetable. APC consolidates as 2027 race begins. You can see that on people. APC consolidates as 2027 race begins. You can see that on page 6. Lee Sachet, that on news page 4. Report shows African youth races worldwide. You can see that on news page 4. And that takes us to the nations are made to this security. 2 newspaper and amended state police. You can see that on newspaper 3 of the Nation newspaper. And that's all we have on the front pages of the dailies. Join us after the break as our guests will be analyzing some of the stories. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you are just joining me, this is today the news of Vanguard Life. My name is Dablola Ogushaki. And joining me to analyze some of the stories on the front pages this morning is Mr. Bayowa Oludari, publisher, Global Financial Digest. Good morning, Mr. Bayowa. You
Thanks for having me today. My cell was frozen for. Sorry.
Oh, okay, sir. All right, let's move to the major stories this morning. And a widespread condemnation has greeted this week's gun attack on the African Democratic Congress, that's ADC Secretariat, and the residents of party chieftains in Benin City, where armed men openly fired shortly after a political event, and several high-profile leaders, including former presidential candidates Peter Obi and ex-Edo Governor John Oyegun, escaped armed as attackers reportedly trade between trade them between locations. Now, what do you have to say about this? And what does this, incident described by parties and civil society as a direct threat to democracy? What does it reveal about the state of the political violence and security in the country ahead of the 2027 general elections?
Well, thank you very much. first of all, the attack was unfortunate, and an unfortunate development in our political history, so to say. Attacking the gathering of people to wait for the verdict of the police to understand the source of the attack. It could be internal crisis. It could be opposition trying to prevent them from carry out the activities. It could be but it's very dangerous for the run-up to the 2027 election. So I think the we can not only nip it in the bud to ensure that the source are discovered and exposed to the public. But it's a very, very unfortunate development, and it complicated the insecurity in the country. It's adding more to what we are already witnessing and causing trouble in our country.
Well, the ADC leadership is they're framing this incident as a part of a broader pattern of political violence that threatens democratic participation. Meanwhile, Governor Monday Oyegun, he has condemned the attack, but he denied the state involvement, describing it as part of an internal party crisis rather than the sanctioned violence. What do you have to say about these two different sides?
Unfortunately, politicians, they have a way of anti blames here and there, and they are accusing each other of accusing finger to any direction. Since the culprits in this incident has not been apprehended, and the police has still continued their investigation. It can be from any angle. It can be for internal crisis or of ADC, maybe one faction trying to prevent the other from getting more. The ruling party in the state trying to prevent them from infiltrating their stronghold. So for me, it could be any angle, it could be any side of the or divide. I'm sure it's too early for us to start pointing at figure on APC or ADC or wherever, that kind of thing. Agency on who are arresting the people and who are behind this attack. But what I would just advise the police for us to actually increase the country so that we can avert such developments going forward.
All right. Political parties and some civil society groups like the Inter-Party Advisory Council, as IPSC, and other stakeholders. Now they've called for the immediate arrest and prosecution of those responsible, and some opposition figures they've even said and threatened to take the matter to the ECOWAS Court of Justice, alleging a pattern of intimidation against their members. Now, what do you think about this? And what are the evidence that you think they need, that security agencies need to present in order to reduce, the pressure coming from the public, and also to expose to make the case transparent to the public?
First of all, those who carry out the attack are not ghosts, and they live in community. Who capture some faces, capture some events along that line, which can be a very useful tool to actually uncover those who are behind the attack. And so police have to intensify their effort to unravel the mystery behind the attack. As you want to gain attention, want to gain sympathy from the populace to say, oh, they are being attacked by the ruling party or this and that. Like I said, it's too early for anybody to point at a figure. It could have come that they want to prevent the opposition from infiltrating their stronghold. It could even come from internal party disagreement. Don't forget that the ADC is a collaboration of many interests. Former LP president candidate, former APC candidate, Peter Obi, Oyegun was in PC before. These are they could go to this issue. So we cannot begin to speculate. The speculation might probably deter the unraveling of the incident. So we cannot start speculating that these are the people that are behind the attack until we have an empirical evidence to justify a comprehensive forensic investigation of the scene. Like I said, there are many cameras and other places that people carry their phone, taking pictures, maybe hiding some close to lead them to the source of the people who use that kind of bullets. So many things. Now, that's what it's in the hand of the security agency to ensure that they unravel it and bring those who. The politicians can play their game, their blame game, they can do whatever they want to do. But important is that we should not sacrifice the truth and alter our policies. So let the security agent carry out their investigation and ensure that a lot of people want to show interest in the political development to participate in it. They scare away from people from participating in the political process. So the agency, the government agency, security agency must ensure that they unravel this thing and expose those who are there.
All right, let's move away from that story. And of course, we're still talking about the country's security. And yesterday, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu personally decorated the new acting Inspector General of Police, Tunji Disu. And this appointment came just 48 days before his scheduled retirement on April 13, 2025, when he would have reached the mandatory retirement age of 60 years. And this is just barely 24 hours after Ekpetogo submitted his resignation letter on Tuesday. What do you think about this? And what are the things you're expecting from the new IG?
Understand the dynamics of policies, dynamics of security occurrence in this country, security in the country, and ensure that it moves faster than the leadership of the police force, and you replace the IG with somebody else, and without any change in configurations of the strategy. So I will expect Disu, for example, to step up the game, to ensure to look at, to examine the. Thank God he was in the system and one of the top security officer in the experience and knowledge of the force to bear on the security situation in this country, and ensure that the Nigerian feel the impact of police in the fight against. That's the only way we can begin to say, yeah, we have a strong police force in this country. But if it's just a change of guards and we're not seeing any measure to justify the change, then it will have been a waste of time. So I employ the new the acting Inspector General of Police to ensure that they step up the game, that the police over and over again, where a police IG will come in and say fighting corruption, and instead of fighting corruption, we are seeing the corruption being taken more root in the system. So this particular acting security and police must do more to gain the confidence of the people.
So, what are the things that you think you can do to gain the confidence of the people once more in the police?
I think it change the structure of the police exactly. First of all, look at the loopholes. Who are inefficient in the system? Trying to do a reshuffle of his officers, senior officers who are ramped in rank, for example, and look at the state command also. And without that don't allow politics to cover its vision of what should be done right in the police force. There are a lot of things. What are the strategies? How can they improve on those strategies to ensure that police is more effective? What is going to do about recruitment of more personnel to fortify the strength of the police force in this country? And what are the criteria going to be applied to ensure retraining for the assistant personnel? There are so many more measures it could add. In terms of equipment, how is it going to ensure that it got enough resources from the federal government to recoup the police force, to ensure, for example, they have the right ammunition to fight crimes, to ensure that the personnel welfare are well taken care of, to ensure that they build confidence. Police officer were lamenting how they sent a paltry amount of money for him after 5 years in service. These are the areas you need to address. The welfare of the personnel. You can't motivate them to fight crime. You can't motivate them to be committed or to be bullish in fighting crime in this country if their welfare are not taken care of. You give somebody a rifle, a weapon to confront a bandit, and you are paying them peanuts. They can be easily be compromised. So these are areas that the police need to work on to ensure that we have a police that are ready to combat crime in this country because their welfare are being taken care of. There are assurance for police, serving police officer in this country. Provide insurance for that so that if anybody dies in active duty, their family will have some measure of relief to take to cushion the pain on them. So there are so many measures the acting general police that can carry out to ensure that reform the police and make them combat ready and make them gain the confidence of the public.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayowa, for joining us this morning.
That's for everybody behind the scene.
Yes, and this is where we have to draw the curtain today. My name is Damlola Ogunshaki. You want to like and follow us on all our social media platforms showing on your screen. You can also visit our website, www.vanguardngr.com. Have a